Hi there. Everything should be working right now, and yeah, hello. Good day. My name is Aaron, and I'm doing the commentary of this ACM race today. We'll see how it goes. It will be my first ever commentary, and I've probably gotten some sport down the line. But we can go out and see how everything will go. But yeah, at this point in time, the qualification just started. If I'm correct, it's just 15 minutes of qualifying. We have 12 minutes left in this session. And as we all know, we are at Kyalami tonight, South Africa. Beautiful, beautiful venue. Although you don't see much from it because it's super dark. But nevertheless, we are here today following O'Sullivan in the Lamborghini, putting out quite a name for themselves out there right now. Just to give a heads up on who all is driving, we will see that today. If anything of the microphone or anything is not working, please do let me know. As I said, it's my first time ever commentating on an ACM race. ACM sponsored by Uplay, of course, where you can get keys, CD keys for a good price, cheap. This is the place where I actually bought my latest DLC for ACM. It's quite interesting to see. But nevertheless, let's ride here with Sullivan, currently in position number 3. O'Sullivan currently in position number 3 with a best time of 1:40.337. At the moment, we follow this beautiful person is the fastest in this qualifying session. Of course, more to come. We just started. It's a 15-minute qualifying. Only 5 minutes have passed. So we are quite curious on how that will go. Yes, Harry, I saw that. I saw that later on. I had everything in front of my screen. Until I realized it. So now everything is really nice. We can see everything. At this point in time, like I said, we have Mr. Konchik. I hope I say it right. I don't really know. But he's currently in P1 in this qualification session in the 139.8. Followed by Gilroy in the beautiful McLaren. Oh, we see the moment we tune in, we see Gilroy making an error right there. Nothing to worry about. I'm pretty sure he'll recover with the next flying lap. And the beautiful McLaren going at a 1:40.07. They are quite evenly matched, especially in the top 3. It's really close. Oh, Gilroy now P3 with O'Sullivan passing him. And that was the one I was gonna go next to anyway. So let's talk about him for a minute. Or them. I don't want to assume genders. But yes, as I said before, it's a beautiful venue, Kyalami. Let me know what the best pronunciation is in this case. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful, beautiful venue. It's too shame this is a night race. Which is also a great way to find out that it's really hard to dictate cars when it's dark. But we'll soldier on. If I didn't make any mistakes, we will just... we'll just gloss over that. We'll just pretend it'll never happen. But in this case, we will see O'Sullivan in a 1:40.047 in P2, followed by Gilroy, which we had there in the beautiful McLaren with the pink strip. I do like the pink strip myself, if I'm really honest. The pink strip on the top of that McLaren really stands out, and I do enjoy looking at it. Then in P4 currently, we have S. Pryor, with a 1:40.9 in an Aston Martin. This is also a car I drove for ACM down the line. It's quite a tricky car to handle, so putting that in P4, it's not a bad job whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure, knowing Pryor from previous races, he is someone to look out for. Then we have a name. That I haven't seen before, and let's switch over to them. That is McCutcheon. I hope I say it right again. English is not my native tongue. I'm really Dutch, and no, I'm not one of those Verstappen fanboys. Don't worry about that. But we have a question here, putting in a solid P5 at the moment, for which is not a bad deal with a 140.9. The top, I'd say the top 5 are really close to one another. Only roughly a second within them. The top 5. So it's going to be a 90 minutes of extreme. No, it's going to be close. It's going to be really close. On P6, we see a familiar name in the Ferrari. Is Nikkonen with the awesome white and blue livery. And again, too shame it's dark, because it's not something we can see that well at the moment. But yeah, it is a beautiful car. Nikkonen is a fast driver, fierce driver as well. He won't stand back for a battle. That's something we all know, and it makes some really interesting racing and some really interesting shots. So that's all nice. Then in P7 currently with a 142.8, we have J. Wolf in the Lamborghini. I was a bit confused by that because in the front of the car it said Wol. My last name is Walter, so normally that's the thing I see on my car. So it was a little bit confusing, but here we are. Wolf, also known name in the ACM community, putting that Lamborghini out for a nice drive on this beautiful circuit in South Africa. Of course, Kyalami, one of the highlights of the calendar. It's we'll try to make it a day race next time so you can see this amazing venue. Then in P8 we have Kelly, also in the Ferrari, also a known name, has performed quite a lot. Currently P8 with a 142.962. Roughly 3 seconds off the lead, but the race is long, so everything can happen. The qualification is not the most important bit in this instance, and I'm sure with Kelly's racecraft he can put it up there, I'm pretty sure. Then in P9, it's a lovely thing to see. I love a Porsche, I really do. They're not used enough in my opinion, and I can say my opinion, but I never used them either, so that's quite sad actually. Well, I do actually from time to time. As you can see, the nice orange glow and the orange strip on the top of the roof going from back to front. It's Art Burns in the Porsche, number 51. And currently at P9 with a 143.0, really close to Kelly. It's nothing in between them, which is quite interesting. Who do we else have? I see 15 cars on the list at the moment. We have in P10, we have Johnston, currently in the pit in the Aston Martin. Also, Matt as a black Aston Martin, fully black with a orange glow on the front grille. Like I said, I love a grille. I love a good glow on a grille, so there is that as well. Furthermore, what do we have next? We have our favorite friend, Marc Mas from Spain. As you can see in the bottom, right there, in the ACM Ferrari. Beautiful livery from ACM, of course. Number 333, cannot miss Marc Mas. Yeah, he's been around for quite a while now. Raced him a couple of times. Really lovely chap. It is quite nice to see that Ferrari with that ACM livery. It's not something you see enough in this one. We only have 3 minutes for a few more people to go. That's not the issue. Then we have here in number 11, and number 777. Oh, it's Johnson again, for some reason. Then we have Otter in P12. Not again a Porsche. I just said that Porsches are not being used enough, and now there's two. I don't know where that comes from, but I do support the use of Porsches. Lovely car, lovely to drive as well. It's a bit finicky at times, but once you get to know it, you get to know it. Let me have a look. Yeah, Otter currently in P12 with a 146.227, number 222. It's a lovely car. I've driven a couple of times on SRO Corsa. and would recommend using it actually, but sadly not as fast as the rest, but in the right hands it can do some magic. Then in P13 we have Arslan in the BMW, a beautiful Yokohama livery BMW. The Advan colors, well, you do not really see them in the dark as well. It does pop out in daylight more. The black with the red horizontal stripes on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful livery from this BMW. Currently riding in P13 with a 147.7. I do see a lot of these BMWs around normally, but this race it's not the case. This is the only BMW from what I can see in the race at this point in time. So yeah, there is that as well. I've never driven the BMW personally, but it is something on my to-do list for sure. Then what we have currently P14, mostly P14 because they didn't set a time yet. It's Eli, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name. Also with a great orange glow, orange Mercedes. It's a beautiful sight to behold. Let's follow Eli for a little bit while they do their lap. Let's have a look. I'm glad that every single level is good. Apparently, it's good to hear. But you see here, Eli going on a lap. I'm not sure if this is out lap or not, but I think it could be his flying lap. But sadly, as we can see here, made a small error and he has to do it again. And time is pressing. There's only 1 minute left, but I don't think that's enough time to do another round of this circuit. So we will see. Again, like I said, it's quite a long race in this instance. There's a long race in this instance, so qualifying is not mostly the most important thing, but it's nice to get a head start naturally. Also a little bit of pride for the drivers here on their sake. So we will see. Then what do we have else? We have in normally P15 we have Gossel. Also not did a time yet in an Audi R8. In my opinion, the best sounding car on the grid. That V10 engine is just beautiful to listen to. It's currently in the slipstream when it looks from Arslan, but I moved around. I moved aside. See what time we can do. At this point, there's a nice right-hander coming up, and then quite a tricky left-hander onto the finish stretch, onto the home stretch. There we go. And Gossel finished with a 146.275, putting him at P3 just behind Otter. It is quite an interesting to see what will happen. Of course, we are now in the cooldown period between the qualification and the race. Hopefully, we will not get any weird things happening in the first lap. It's always a shame if that happens. But at the moment, we have a Konchik in a P1 in the McLaren. And then in P3, we have P2, we have Gilroy also in the McLaren. And in P3, we have the 78 Lamborghini of O'Sullivan. Always an interesting thing to see. As you can see here, Harry, Mr. Goswell, the owner of ACM, always being a nice and pleasurable to talk to. Currently, I need to return to the garage, even though I am not in the race itself. But that's just how it goes. This situation. I'm also new to the software. I'm going into it. I played around it a little bit, of course, to get started. But in the end, we'll go through. Naturally, they need to do a full. Normally, they do a full lap, warming up lap, and then start in a rolling sequence. Side by side. If you don't know the rules, welcome. If you're new, hello. Nice to have you here. But that is normally how it goes. So make the list complete, at one we have number 913 Konchik in the McLaren. Then we have McLaren 340 of Gilroy. In the 70, then the 78 Lamborghini of O'Sullivan. Then the Ferrari of Nikkanen. Then number 1 Aston Martin of Pryor. Then this number 778 of McCutcheon. I really don't know how to pronounce that, so if they want to beef with me afterwards, they can. My DMs are open. Then we have Kelly, number 91 Ferrari in P7. Wolf in P8 in the 201 Lamborghini. Burns in the 51 Porsche in P9. Maas in P10 in the 333 ACM Ferrari. Then Johnston in the 777 Aston Martin. Otter in a P12 and the 222 Porsche. Gossel in the Gossel in the best sounding car of them all, the number 30 Audi, and then we have Arslan in the 34 BMW, and finally to round it off, because sadly they couldn't finish a lap within the time slot, they joined a little bit late as far as I can remember, is Eli in the 801 Mercedes AMG, the GT version, not the SLS. So I'm curious on how it will go in this race. There we go. So now they are off to do their the parade lap, as they like to call it. Let's focus on P1 for a minute here. On Damien Konchik. 2 McLarens on the front row. It's not something you see often. I've seen a lot of Ferraris lately on the front row. So it's a welcome sight to see. It's 15 cars on grid from what I can tell. It was a nice pack. It was not really packed, but it's nice amount of cars to have on track. And hopefully we can get out of the way in first lap, no carnage. So we will do our best to see what is up. In the meantime, while they do the parade lap, I'm going to send all the link of the stream to all my friends, so I can showboat around a little bit naturally. Let look. There we go. Everything for that cloud, of course. Yes, everything for that cloud. I'm already getting DMs for the cloud. Yes, I am aware. It's a little bit of long parade lap, so like I said, you can't really see Kyalami in the dark. It's a really nice venue to behold, if I'm honest. But overall, yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to help out ACM in a form that I can. Naturally, I drive a lot of these things myself, these races. It's not this one, so I'm free to commentate it whenever, or other races I'm not participating in. But normally you see me. I'm the one with the broken brakes that normally brakes too late. You can ask the owner, Harry, about it. I think he still has PTSD from that moment, but we'll see. Still wakes up at night seeing the Porsche driving into his rear end. And my first ever race for ACM, so that was a little bit embarrassing. But here we are today at Kyalami. They're heading towards the last corner, where they will go. Well, they are side by side already, but yeah, Harry still never recovered from that. Yeah, I am aware. I'm aware. So we are now near the line. We're waiting for the green flag for them to go in this beautiful race in South Africa. And we'll see what will happen into the first corner. There we go. There's the green light. And they are away. Konchik losing that position. That's a great launch from Gilroy there. But Konchik in the inside position. There was some contact from what I can see there. A little bit of contact, but didn't look too serious. Everyone is just on their way still. Oh, and there is a massive incident. Oh, Lord have mercy. There is P1 out. There's P1 now nearly at the bottom of this race. Yes, I can tell he is all the way down with a new leader, Shea O'Sullivan. That was a nasty incident right there. We can, of course, look at the replay in a second to see what actually happened. This will settle in. Let's see what happened right there. Apparently, I did not. That was longer than 15 seconds. But nevertheless, we can see here that O'Sullivan is leading this race at the moment before going back to live mode. There we are. Don't really know what happened there, but at the moment we have Sullivan leading on P1 with Nikkanen in P2, Pryor in P3, McCutcheon in P4, Wolf in P5, Maas in P6. Really good job from Maas there, really climbing up that ladder with Eli right behind him in the Mercedes. And then Bruns, did I just see someone fly off in the distance? Yes, I did. Let's have a look at Mark Maas for a minute. Going from P6, I believe he started from P10. Oh, no, he's P7 now. He's P7 now. Eli overtook him in that corner. Really good job from Eli. Nothing too special. And then we have the McLaren of Gilroy, of course, going back to try to go into those top places, which were, well, which he lost in the beginning of this race. You see the Ferrari here, the ACM Ferrari at the moment running in P8. I know it says P7 on the screen, but that's not always strictly accurate. It's currently running in P8 with the Porsche of Rowdy Burns behind them. There's a great strap there. And then here at the moment, what do we have in terms of this? With Otter in P15 and O'Sullivan still leading the race here in the Lamborghini Huracan, followed by Nikkanen. But knowing Nikkanen, he's not going to take laying down. They're going to follow him through and through. There's going to be an intense 90 minutes of racing with McCutcheon. Like I said, just DM me for beef. We'll do that afterwards. If I mispronounce your name, in P3, currently 2.4 seconds behind the leader, with Nikkanen 1.2 seconds behind the leader. Nikkanen here again. It's a beautiful machine there, but of course, with the Finnish flag on it, the white and blue, it's a really nice car to see. Really shame to dark. Next time when I'm here, I'm gonna try and for a light race so I can really show you these cars in a better way than before. Then we have Pryor here in P5 closing up, really closing up on Wolf. It's going to be a good little battle. That Aston Martin is also something to behold. Now really close on. Who's going to make the move here? Is he going to make the move? No, it's not close enough yet. But maybe in the next couple of corners there. Well, there are some fast corners going. Well, this is slow. The next corner is a bit weird. It's like you can make it. It feels like you can take it really fast, but on the other hand, you have to be really cautious, or you fly off into the barrier, and that's something that no one ever wants. And here we can see Pryor really riding Wolf here. Let's see if that Aston Martin can make a pass on Wolf. At the moment, we see that Gilroy, and currently in P6, who started P2, got a 15-second penalty. It's a shame, but I do understand. I think where that's coming from, and I will have to work my whip magic a little bit more with the replay function because it's quite foreign to me. As I said, it's my first time ever commentating a race. You see, we're now on the home stretch. It's quite a nice sight to behold with all these cars. Also, Gilroy closing up quite quickly on the back of Pryor, so it's going to be a three-way battle here to give you more information on the top. We see that Sullivan is driving away slowly from Nikkonen, nearly doubling their lead. But we see McCutcheon closing up to Nikkonen, in fact, in the Ferraris. So we will see what's going on. In the meantime, we see that Konchik did an overtake on Kelly, if I'm correct. This was our pole sitter, of course, as I said before. It's a long race, so anything can happen in this time. Naturally, of course, this wouldn't be all possible without the help of Uplay providing some game keys for everyone for a reasonable price. As I said, I got my latest expansion from a set of course Competizione there. Worth checking out Uplay, why you play, and see how we can do from there out. Look. See? Beautiful. Even advertises in the chat. I didn't do that. It's all magic. Up to 80% off. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Up to 80% off at Uplay right now. So if you don't have to do it, and after this race and you think like, I'll have a go at that set of course, give it a look and maybe they can help you out with a good price for this game. So going back to the race, we have Mark Maas in P9 at the moment. Being followed, this is like a whole train going on right now. Mark Maas in the ACM Ferrari, good position. It's currently 10th, being overtaken just now by Burns, and now being followed by Kelly. And knowing Kelly, he's gonna make that move. Let's see if we can see it. It's like I said, a bit hard to see at the moment. It is a dark race. It feels like commentating on Le Mans when everyone is asleep. Although it is a lovely Sunday evening. Mark Maas went a little bit wide on there, letting Kelly pass. In that instance, putting a Mark Maas at a P11 at the moment. We have a look back at our friend Pryor in the Aston Martin, now with Gilroy right behind them. There's a three-way battle for P4. It is, yeah, P4. And Gilroy going past Pryor quite convincingly there. Gilroy still holding that 15-second penalty, of course, from the incident in T1. Was T1 or T2? Doesn't really matter what an incident. Oh, we see Wolf going a little bit wide there. Of course, costing him some time with Gilroy right behind him. Is this something that Pryor can take advantage of? We'll see. It's a bit of that Lamborghini seems a little bit like it's upset. From Wolf, we see Stuart Pryor here, the #1 Aston Martin. Beautiful, beautiful looking machine. I'm not a fan of the matte though, especially now because it's just the set of lights you see, nothing else. But I can promise you that is an Aston Martin in that darkness right there. And as you can see, Gilroy passed Pryor as well now, and is now up to P4. Pryor P5. Wolf and Pryor, of course, continuing to battle with this occasion. So that's all nice. Let's have a look down to Kelly. Kelly, of course, is behind Burns in that beautiful Porsche. And let's see. It's a really close battle there. Into that swimming left, and see normally the Ferrari should have a little bit better traction on the exit. See, desperately flashing their lights to move away, but of course that is not happening. Burns defending, making that Porsche as wide as it can, and it is a wide car, that Porsche, really wide car. So we'll see how that happens. Will Kelly make a move? Continuously flashing, trying to unnerve Burns, so to signal to move out of the way, but this is racing for position, so it's probably not going to happen. Burns will stick onto that. In the meantime, also drinking. I'm not a. I'm a terrible exception of exception. Example of what you should drink. I just drink Diet Coke. Remember the first time I watched one of these things that the commentator was just drinking water and flaming sodas. I'm gonna be the opposite. Drink sodas. Nice. Tastes nice. Best is to do just water in combination, but of course. See Kelly here. Still stuck behind, still closing up behind that Porsche. I was making a move right now, and he made a stick, and he's beyond that Porsche. Can Burns and that Porsche do anything to return that gesture? They're sticking up to that tail. Kelly is slowly creating a gap and moving on up. In the meantime, we see that Konchik also passed Wolf. Kelly behind Wolf in P9 with a roughly 8-second deficit, but yeah, I think Kelly made that move stick really nice in front of Burns and is now driving away. Beautiful move though, really controlled. Love to see it. Let's see what we else have. And here we have the leader of our current race, Shea O'Sullivan from Big Brain Racing. Currently P1, driving away from the packs. Currently the gap to the second place, who is McCutcheon, is 5.4 seconds, so it's quite comfortably in the lead. So we'll see what will go on there. Let's have a look on today's event. Today's event, of course, being Kyalami. It's a 90 minutes night race with 1 mandatory pit stop. So eventually they have to come in to change their tires, because it's a mandatory pit stop for tires, and see what the pack brings there. But at this point, we see everything nicely settling in right now, going on, with O'Sullivan leading from McCutcheon, from Nikanen in P3, and Gilroy made it back up to P4. But don't forget, Gilroy does have that 15-second penalty. So if Pryor can stay within 15 seconds, that will be his. But Gilroy is slowly driving away from Pryor, so we'll see how it will go also after the pit stops. And there's a long race to go. Eventually, fatigue will set in and will cause some errors to happen. So yes. At the moment, we have Gilroy behind Nikanen. Both, but from what I can tell, Nikanen is quite a fierce driver. He won't shun away from a challenge, and I doubt he'll do that right now. Gilroy in the McLaren, and Nikanen in the beautiful Finnish livery Ferrari. Gilroy in the 340 McLaren. Let's see what will happen here. And this is the final corner into the home straight once again. See who gets the better exit. And it's currently really close to one another. McLaren looks really big compared to that Ferrari. The Ferrari looks a lot smaller from the front, but from the rear it's like a completely different story. It's weird how that looks, and especially, well, now it's dark, but it's just beautiful. But as we can see here, Gilroy went past Nikanen, flinging on the wheel left and right. Great job. Let's see what else we have on the grid. We have Burns on Kelly. Oh, the Kelly, they're still going at it. I thought that Kelly would drive away, but Burns is sticking behind that Ferrari, hanging on for his dear life. From DOT, don't know what that means, but I'll take it, with the Exxon livery Porsche. It's also a black car in the night, really hard to distinguish, but it's good that it has those big orange lights on the top of the roof. I do like it. I'm a sucker. I'm like the person that would put RGB in all their places. Yeah, I'm a terrible human being in some people's eyes. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. Looks like Kelly is slowly running away, but we will definitely keep an eye on those two. Whilst we have here Gossel. If it wants to work, yeah, there we go. Gossel, of course it's a black ass. Oh no, Gossel's in the Audi. Gossels in the Audi, again, the best sounding car on grid by far. If you disagree, then I will not listen to you. It's just my opinion. That V10 is just sounds nice. But yeah, Gossel at the moment behind Maas. Mark Maas in a 333 ACM Ferrari. Closing, and there's a 0.4 of a second behind it at this point in time. Let's see if we see a move here. Oh, that was a bit squirrely for that Audi, making Maas pull away from out of a second again. Beautiful. And so, I do have to say, it's a lovely job. Just sitting in a comfortable chair, commentating on beautiful cars going by. Thank you, Ari. I really appreciate this. It's really nice. It's a really nice job to do. Okay, so let's start from the top. Considering we are in 15 minutes in now. Yeah, look at that. Time flies when you have fun. Naturally, I do not have content to fill the entire 90 minutes we're talking, so there will be some small gaps in between. But I'll do my best for everyone that is watching. I have no clue how many people are watching actually at this point in time. We have the left 6 people, so it's not that much. Sounds like a fun time. Hi, 6 people that are watching. Lovely to see you. Lovely to be here. So yeah, let's see. Let me just subscribe to this real quick. Oh no, not unfollow. I already followed it apparently. Beautiful. Yes. On this with me then. See Gossel here behind Maas, closing in. Currently a half a second in between them. Whilst the rest of the pack said, "Oh, we see Gossel making an error there. He took that curb a little bit too enthusiastic and bounced around it, making Maas drive away once again. That cost him around 2 seconds. That move. That's would not recommend doing that again. Actually." So currently in the lead we have O'Sullivan in the 78 Lamborghini. Currently 6.8 seconds in front of McCutcheon. Joe Sullivan from Big Brain Racing driving that Lamborghini. Don't know what's up with people making their cars black, but it's really it's a quite hard thing to do. Quite hard to see with the nightness going on. Of course, not every race is a night race. Let's be honest about that. And we see a retirement. Is it Otter? No, it's not Otter. We do see someone in the pits. I do not know who that is, because on my schematics, everyone is still driving. So we have Sullivan here in P1, and we have McCutcheon in P2, followed by Gilroy. Let's stick here for a minute and see what is going on. Let's see Gilroy in P3 making a move on McCutcheon. Gilroy's making that stick and see if he can drive away, or if they're gonna hang on the back and make another move in return. You see the damage on the back of that McLaren. That was from that incident in the first lap. We all for those that didn't know, there was an incident in the first lap which caused a lot of people to fall back. It was Gilroy and Konchik starting on the front row. Well, they're not there now, so we can assume what happened there. Naturally, because Gilroy has a 15-second penalty. But we see here Gilroy now in P2, driving away slowly from McCutcheon, settling in for the rest of this evening. McCutcheon still within a second, so let's see if the slipstream can do anything in this situation. Quite an interesting view. He's not driving away from McCutcheon right now. At this point in time, the fastest lap is done by Konchik. He's in P6 at the moment with the fastest lap time of a 1:40.155. really fast lap there. Oh, we saw McCutcheon fly off. Oh, that's a shame. He was sticking by and losing positions right now to the other drivers. That was a shame. He was they were quite on it, but yeah. Sadly, mistakes can happen, but luckily can continue. No damage to the car from what I can tell. It was a good move, but let's see what they can do to bring back. Now in P3 we have Nikkanen. I don't know. I'm obsessed with that Finnish-looking Ferrari. It's a beautiful livery. In P4 we have the black Aston Martin, matte black. Beautiful to distinguish in this night race, but luckily there's someone behind it shedding some light on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. With a Pryor in a P4 in the number 1 Aston Martin, but followed by Konchik real close. Let's have a look at Konchik right here. You can see them here. Closing in on Pryor with every... Of course, one started on the front row, Konchik, and then had that incident in the first lap. Let's see if he can make the move on Pryor. He's gonna stick around for a long time. It looks like Konchik is a little less of an attacking driver than Gilroy. Gilroy went through it with I almost wanted to say a passion. Of course, everyone is passionate about why they drive here. Otherwise, you wouldn't sign up to do 90 minutes in a row, like 1.5 hours sitting there. You wouldn't do that. But it's a bit more feisty, like it says. Whereas Konchik looks a little bit more controlled. Instead of when he run a little bit wide on that chicane, or in that curve. Let's see if they can make a move stick into the first corner, going over the start-finish line right here, right now. Yes, so out of that slipstream, the McLaren does have some grunt to it, and he made the move stick. It looks like, yes, he's in front of that Aston Martin. Right in front of that Aston Martin. See if that, see if Brian can follow up on that. See if he can stay within his tail. Otherwise, it just continues to drive off right now. Both of them closing up on Nikkanen, it seems, quite quickly. Nikkanen is the one in the Finnish Ferrari, in Ferrari 909. Or the Ferrari with number 909. Driving in P3 currently. I actually wanted to do a top 10 review, but there's so much changing in these last 30 minutes. It's hard to keep track if I'm really honest. So let's see what's happening here. Pryor, Konchik driving away slowly from Pryor, still holding that fastest lap of a 140.155. Apologize. So currently in P1 we have O'Sullivan in the Lamborghini, and then with the Lamborghini number 78, B. Gilroy in the McLaren in P2, McLaren 340, with the 15 seconds penalty. We're currently 6 seconds behind O'Sullivan, but it's slowly closing that gap. So I'm pretty sure down the line, in a few moments' time, we'll see quite a close race between those two. And then we have Nikkanen in P3 in that Finnish Ferrari. Yeah, there it is. There it is, being chased and being closed up by Konchik in that McLaren. We saw him earlier making that move on Pryor on that black Aston Martin, which is currently in P5. Here we see some of it at least. Then in P6 we have McCutcheon, who had that incident. That moment where he spun, losing a lot of positions, so he's on the return right now. On P7 we have Eli, quite far to the to P6 at the moment, so they're settling in for the long haul. Hopefully the pits will go their way. Sorry, in that beautiful Mercedes. And in P8 we have Wolf with some damage on that Lamborghini on the front, as you can see, but seemingly not bad enough to pit the car. It looks fine. It still goes fast. Well, yes. Then in P9 we have Kelly. Kelly slowly closing up on Wolf though, from what I can see here. 14 laps done, 14 laps running. And in P10 we have Burns in that Porsche with those orange stripes going on the top of the roof, as we all saw earlier. But again, for people that do night races, I'm not a fan of those. But for the people that do, don't pick out black cars for me, people. Come on, make it like bright orange or white, or put millions of neons on it. I would love to see it. And the moment we see Konchik pass Nikkonen before P3. Of course, they are on a redemption drive. They had that incident in the first lap, starting from the front row. Had that incident where they were dropped back by quite a lot. It was a small pile-up going on, but now we continue here with Konchik in P3, following up Gilroy. He's currently 7.5 seconds behind Gilroy. With his pace, I'm pretty sure they can catch up. And Gilroy is catching up to P1, so it's going to be quite close at the latter stages of this race. But for now, everyone seems to be settled in. Only Gossel here in P11 that finally overtook Maas. Seems like. Let's see if Maas will take it laying down, or is going to fight that for that position. Ferrari having a little bit of an advantage. It's quite a quick car. It's normally quite often used by a lot of people. For the GT3 stuff, I personally use a McLaren. Just prefer it a little bit more. And we see Maas overdriving that Ferrari just a little bit there, going onto the curb, which will cost them definitely some amount of time. And as I said, everyone is now just settling in for. Oh no, Maas is coming back, slowly crawling back. 0.7 behind. Let's follow this for a little bit. It is a beautiful thing to see. Let's see if it's in the TV2 camera. A little bit better. Maas doesn't put it into the wall, of course, or into the gravel. A little bit of gravel did cost him a little bit. Dropping it down, losing speed onto the straight line afterwards. Of course, that's where you benefit the most. If you get a good exit out of that corner, you know you can. Oh, we see Maas flowing off. Oh, yeah, that's too bad. Just told him not to, but clearly the Twitch delay is still a thing, so he probably just heard it right now. Anyway, we see that. At the moment, we see Pryor closing up on Nikkonen in the Ferrari, and we see that black Aston Martin looked like a stealth fighter in the dark like that. Really closing up on let me have a look before I say something wrong. On this battle for P4, with Nikkonen in the Ferrari naturally, and Pryor in that McLaren. Oh, McLaren in the Ferrari. Sorry, I do apologize. Let me. Let's have a look. See if anything is new in that ACM Discord chat. No, I'm just quite quiet there. Normally it's quite busy up there. So yeah, let's have a look. Whilst we follow Pryor in that black Aston Martin, with Nikkonen in that white Ferrari. The contrast couldn't have been bigger, actually. We have the Ferrari, a thoroughbred mid-engine car, white, like bright color, and then we have the Aston Martin, good black with a front-engine car. And of course, the Aston Martin was made initially for cruising. It was a GT car for long distances, but overall, it is going quite well. At the moment, like I said, everyone is settling in nicely for a bit. There's no big gaps. We'll continue to follow Pryor because this battle is slowly intensing. I will step off for just a few seconds to grab something to drink for myself, so to clear my throat. I do not have a co-presenter today to pass the baton on, but it will be gone for like a minute or two, just to grab something to drink and maybe something to eat real quick, and I'll be back with you in just a second. We will continue to follow Prior in this case, and I will actively check if anything goes wrong. By the way, before I go, I just wanted to shout out to our sponsor, Uplay. Uplay providing CD keys for a reasonable price, really good price, with up to 80% off these days. I saw, so that's something that's to keep an eye out. If you want to buy, if you look at this and you see I want to play ACC, go check Uplay. They'll probably have a good price for you to have it, including the DLCs if they have them in stock, of course. So I will step away for just a minute. My microphone will be going a little bit soft while we follow Prior here in this battle with Nikkanen. We got gone for just a few minutes, and I'll be right back for some more action. We're back today. Hi, welcome. Welcome back. We're at 54 minutes to go on this race. The second, of course, when I stepped out prior, which I was focused on, made a pit stop. It is now currently running in P9, but the mandatory pit stop is at least out of their way. We'll have a look at our leader right here, Mr. Shea O'Sullivan. Is it Mr.? Oh, I don't know. I don't want to assume genders naturally. Just happy to do this. Then we have O'Sullivan in P1. Then we have Gilroy in P2. Closing that gap to O'Sullivan. When we first looked at it, it was roughly a 5-second difference, and now it's dropped down to 2.6. So in the latter stages of this race, as I said, there will be quite some following, quite some racing going on there. Naturally, Gilroy does hold that 15-second penalty from that incident before. Let's see what they can do in an appeal, but that's how it stands for right now. Then we have Konchik right here in the McLaren, following Gilroy, currently 6 seconds away from Gilroy and about 8 seconds away from the leader. Let's see how that goes right now. We see that Mas did move on Kelly, or is it... Where did Kelly go? Kelly is here. I don't know what happened to Kelly, but we see that Gilroy just lapped Kelly here, and Mas making his way up into 10th position in that ACM Ferrari. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. We see Konchik here still holding the fastest lap time of 1:40.365, currently running in P3 with Nikkanen behind them, following at about 12 seconds. So let's see how that will pan out during the rest of the stint. Then we have McCutcheon in the other Ferrari following Nikkanen. See, it just looked like there's two different Ferraris, but that's a lap Lamborghini, so I was a little bit confused there. A little bit confusing there, but nevertheless, it's hard to distinguish in the dark. I'm gonna be honest there, but yeah, this is that Lamborghini in the middle is a lapped car. That Lamborghini is that car of Jay Wolf, which you can see here. Who will go out of the way once McCutcheon goes back, gets closer. Then we have Eli in P6. And that beautiful Mercedes doing quite a good job at P6 right now, following the lead, following behind with about 26 seconds. We see Kelly making a move on Mas again. Where's Mas at? Mas, of course, doing a pit stop in that Ferrari, jiggling about as that of course it does. There's nothing you can stop about that. It just jiggles around. It's even worse when you switch driver; it goes all over the place. But yeah, Eli in P6. Then we have a Burns in P7. Currently lapping Arslan in the BMW. The BMW being in P14. Again, lovely looking BMW. I really do like that. I really do like that. I really do like that that BMW, that Advan livery with the black and red horizontal stripes. Absolutely beautiful. In the meantime, you could hear a notification on my background. Don't ignore that. Let me just turn that down so you don't ever see that again. There we go. If I'm correct, you can still hear the game itself, just not the background noises anymore. Yeah, that should be fine. I apologize for that. It's not something I want to hear. Nevertheless, we will have a look. We are looking at Pryor at the moment in that Aston Martin. I'm currently P8, following Burns. Some people have done their pit stop, some people don't. We're about halfway through the race right now. We're about halfway through the race right now, and they're gonna everyone is settling in slowly, doing their pit stops, and at the end of the race normally it gets a little bit more hectic. In Gossel, you see here in that Audi P9, and to round off the top 10 we have Kelly in that Ferrari. Ferrari being lapped in a minute by who I assume to be either Konchik or Gilroy. As I said, it's a bit hard to distinguish in the dark, but yeah. We also see here, that's Konchik by the way. We see here Sullivan in P1, but as I said, in the latter stages of the race, that will be close, and it is close. Gilroy now following with about 1.1 seconds behind O'Sullivan, so there will probably be a move made right there. All the while, we see Pryor here, who made a move on Burns, which stuck, and now slowly going. Well, Burns going into the pits as well. Focusing back on our leader right now. This is O'Sullivan being followed by Gilroy. Gilroy still holding that 15-second penalty. And from what I can see, it is, from what I can tell, it is the only penalty handed in this race. So everyone is behaving quite nice. It's nice to see. And O'Sullivan going into the pits, making Gilroy the new leader of this race. I assume that Gilroy still needs to take their pit stop. And then we have Konchik following up. And a P2 that they pass Sullivan in the pits as well. The top three is quite close to one another, if I'm really honest. We have O'Sullivan in the pits right now. And then we have Nikkanen also going into the pits. They were following up. So everyone is going into the pits. We see Burns going into the pits as well. Of course, with this race, it's a mandatory. There's a mandatory pit stop, which is needed for change of tires. So everyone is settling right there now. We have Gilroy at the moment in the lead with a 5.5 second leader gap to P2. With a 5.5 seconds to P2, and then we have McCutcheon in P3 at the moment. I assume that they still have to do their pit stop, but we all saw that sadly McCutcheon had quite a slip in the latter stage, in the early phases of this race, costing them quite a lot of positions. I'm glad to see that they're continuing, that there's no damage to their Ferrari, because it happens. When I did a race at the Nürburgring, my wheel fell off, and luckily it wasn't the final straight, but I crashed into the barrier and everything was, well, like for a better word, I'm not gonna cuss on the stream naturally, but like it was not good. So every time I turned left, the car would go straight, for example. So that wasn't great. Of course, me partaking in a lot of these races myself. Nice thing to do. If you have an evening off, it's a lovely thing to do, to just jump in. The community is really friendly and welcoming. They all come, of course, in the heat of the moment after a race. They will. It could be a little bit of heat, but overall, it's a good sense of competition in the SRO course called Career Mode, or ACM. It's nice. It's a nice place to be. Well, thanks to Harry as well, who founded it. Then we have focusing back on the race. You see the drivers going slowly. We see that Konchik improved their time a little bit more even, with a 141 dead basically, even going faster than before. And then let me have a look. Well, we have O'Sullivan out of the pits, currently following 30 seconds to the car in front. We have Elaine in the pits currently. Pryor in P6. Nikkanen in P7, which will be jostled around because of the pit stops. Gossel in P8. Kelly in P9. And Wolf in P10. I'm still a bit confused by Wolf, because when it says Wol on the front, is normally my last name is Walters. And I don't drive a Lamborghini. So, yeah, it's a bit confusing. Although my driver number is completely different. 15, not 201. So let's have a look at what is going on right now. We have our leader here now, lapping Gossel, who is in P7. Gilroy still having that 15-second penalty, and Konchik is right behind him with 5 seconds behind him, so that will not be enough for a P1 finish. And we have Konchik in P2, as you can see, P2, and then McCutcheon in a P3 in the Ferrari. I think the top 3 still has to do their pit stops. I'm not really sure, but we will see. It doesn't track that for me for some reason. Everything is tracked except that. Oh, no, it is. I found a new button. Like I said, this is my first time ever commentating on a race, so I'm exploring wildly new buttons here. It's amazing. Yeah, the top 3 still has to pit. And then after that, we have O'Sullivan, Pryor, and Niikanen in P4, 5, and 6, who already pitted. So it's going to be interesting where everything will finish and slot down. I do have to say that the McLarens and the Aston Martin, in this case, are the fastest in the speed trap with 246 kilometers an hour. Whereas they are 47 minutes into this stint. Yes, let's have a look. I'm just going to go scroll through all of these beautiful new tabs that I just found. This is all the same. Okay. No, I'm just checking. Which is a bit more of the things that are handed to me. As I said, this is the first time I have. This is the first time I'm commentating, so there's a lot of new buttons and things that to find out. And of course, it's the first time me flying solo. There were some unfortunate events that there wasn't hired to join me, but that's all right. Let me tell you a little bit more about ACM. ACM is a really nice, friendly community where, as I said before, people are welcoming, and when you want to jump into sim racing, this is the place to be. Naturally sponsored by Uplay. Uplay, the store that gives CD keys, or and sells CD keys at a fair price, so you can get a nice discount on them, up to 80% discount these days. So, thanks to Uplay for this as well. And this is the welcome to the journey to SRO. To just read, I'm just quoting what it says. The SRO Grand Final team events are consisting of 2 drives per go. Yes. So we will see what will be going on. Just figure out that I don't even have my livery synced. It's absolutely terrible. That was a terrible rookie mistake. Normally everyone has. I'm being harsh on the drivers for having black liveries, but I don't have my livery sync for them, so I don't know if they have a black livery. So yeah, I'll fully take the blame for that. I'll fully take the blame for that. In this case, in the meantime, we do see that there has been some pits going on. One in front is McCutcheon in P1 currently with the Ferrari 778, who hasn't pitted yet at the moment. We have Sullivan, who did pit, who's following him. And then Konchik as well, who all pitted. The entire grid pitted except for 2 drivers, which is Arslan in the BMW and McCutcheon in the Ferrari we are following right now. It is a fantastic job, this. So we have O'Sullivan there following. This is our theoretical P1 after McCutcheon does pit. Pit stops does last a little bit here. It's at least, I think, what is it, 25 to 30 seconds. So you will lose that in the pit lane. We see something happening here. Oh, it's Konchik into the pits. For the second time round, we see Konchik with a stop and go penalty. Oh, that is interesting. Konchik received a stop and go penalty for 30 seconds, so they have to be stationary in the pits for at least 30 seconds before they cannot have any work done on the car or anything. They just have to go into the pits, stop there, idle for 30 seconds, and then they can drive out again. So this is them being served. I don't know what the reason was for this stop and go penalty, but it's a shame. He was up there as a front runner. And let's see if he can recover from this. Have a look. There's a lot of logs going on here. There's lots. Like I said, I'm just discovering new buttons every single time. It is beautiful. Nevertheless, we continue. At the moment, we have McCutcheon in P1, who is pitting. So O'Sullivan will be our theoretic leader after this. They're now going onto the home straight. I'm pretty sure that will be done. Yeah, there's the overtake. There's the Lamborghini in P1 once again. So yeah, I'm sorry if I did not have the livery sync. That is a rookie mistake. That's 100% my fault. I do take the blame for that. Yeah. Here we go. We're slowly entering the final 30 minutes of this race, with O'Sullivan leading over Gilroy with in P3. McCutcheon, who is still in the pits, but will they get out in front of Pryor? This is going to be close. This is going to be really close in this scenario. And no, they had to give the away to Pryor. Pryor currently in P3 in that Aston Martin, which is amazing. They, from what I can tell, they started out in a P5, so they made up 2 places, which is an amazing job. Which is actually an amazing job. Let's see if McCutcheon can keep up. Well, McCutcheon, of course, starting in P7, now running in P3, P4. So that's all really good. But it has to be said, though, that our leading man, O'Sullivan, in that Lamborghini, started P3, now P1, and they're driving really well at the moment. The current gap to the car behind, if it wants to show me it, there it goes. And the gap to Gilroy is about 17.7 seconds, so they are really working that Lamborghini from what I can tell. But let's head back to McCutcheon and Pryor. Pryor's being in the center of attention today, I have to admit, but there are some really close battles with them today. So it's a nice thing to say. So good luck, Pryor, getting your moment in the spotlight today for being actually really good and being involved in a lot of battles. So it's nice to see. Let's see what McCutcheon can do. Will they continue to roll over Pryor, or will probably be defensive? We all saw that McCutcheon had that incident earlier where they spun off a little bit too much curb, and then the way these cars work is specific, because it has the cars themselves have a lot of downforce from their own, so you can ride them on the downforce. And if you don't know what I mean, it's like when you coast through a long corner, it will stick to the ground quite well, actually. But if you get it wrong, the downforce feels like it's immediately gone and you have nowhere to go. And when you cook the tires, you'll have to slow down for a couple of laps at least a couple of minutes to get them up to pressure again. But luckily, it is nighttime in Kyalami, so the track temperatures are cool, which is ordinary for time of night. But we see here that Ferrari should normally have the edge over that Aston Martin, but Pryor is making that Aston Martin even wider than it originally is, so good job from him. Whilst McCutcheon is following nice and well. There's no real other battles going on. Like I said, most people are just sort of settling in right now. We do know that Arslan is in the pit, so everyone did their mandatory pit stops. Right now, with Konchik doing a second one, well, wasn't really a second pit stop. It was a stop and go penalty. I don't know why that was handed, but the stewards, there is live stewarding on these races, so that means that there's live stewarding on these races, so that means that people do actually watch and hand out penalties. And kudos to them as well. I don't do that. I just sit here and judge people. I love it. As you can see, this still going on, this battle between McCutcheon and Pryor. Pryor keeping that Aston Martin firmly in P3. I have a feeling this will last for a bit, but we also see, is that Konchik following them behind? No, that's not Konchik behind. I think that this Gossel in the Audi following up at the moment. Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful. Whereas Konchik is currently 19 seconds behind Nikkanen. Nikkanen is behind Konchik. I haven't listed the names. I'm sorry. Anyway, to see the long left-hander here, going onto what is quite a fast section off the track and a swooping left, and then hard braking for this next right-hand turn here. And we see the move. We see a little peak there from McCutcheon on Pryor, but Pryor keeping that that Aston Martin nice and wide, dipping a little bit in the grass there, but nothing too special. And then another left-hander. It's a quite tricky left-hander to the start-finish line. Exit is key here, because if you have the good exit speed here, the good exit, you'll fly onto that straight quite well. And well, simple, yeah. Then you'll have the advantage. But Pryor is doing his best. Oh, this is a move. Yes, this is a move. Little bit, looked like a little touche there, but nothing too fancy. Putting McCutcheon up into P3, and let's see if Pryor can follow McCutcheon in this battle, because it seems like they were quite equal. Although I have to say that Ferrari does have the edge a little bit. It's a little bit of a faster car, a bit more balanced as well. The Aston Martin can be a little bit tricky to handle sometimes due to its configuration, but it's a configuration I prefer. It's that my teammates want to have a mid-engine car, so I caved and went for the McLaren. But if I could, it would be I'd rather have something for an engine. Nevertheless, we see here it's Pryor still within the second of McCutcheon, so it's a close battle there. I have a feeling it's going to be a close battle for a while there. Anyway, we continue to enter the last 30 minutes of this race. We're in the 31 minutes to go actually, and we'll see who will win. O'Sullivan has a good chance here of an 18-second lead over Gilroy at the moment with McCutcheon in P3. See Pryor dipping a wheel there, and yeah, sadly losing out a lot of time with McCutcheon driving away. So there's that. Everyone is sort of settling into their positions right now, if I'm honest. We have let's see how our good friend Mark Maas is doing. Mark Maas, if you think this is a battle for position, this is not true. In front of this is Konchik in front of him, this lapped car. Well, Maas is being lapped here in that ACM Ferrari, but nevertheless doing a good job here. Currently holding P12. It was in the top. It was like in P8 at one stage, but currently P12, which is, well, in his terms, not great because he lost 2 positions, but nevertheless a solid drive from Mark Maas. I have to say though that the biggest climber here, Eli, who didn't have a chance to start at the qualification really, entered a little bit too late and then messed up their flying lap, so they had to start from the back and currently running P8. So certainly in the top 10, which is a really good time. Really good drive from Eli, following Kelly, but currently 7.7 seconds adrift from the car in front. So, like I said, everyone is just sort of settling in. We have something going on here. There, the camera did not know what to do. But we have Nikkanen slowly closing in on McCutcheon. And we see Pryor again in P3 as well. So there has been some form of driving. And we see McCutcheon here being overtaken by Nikkanen. And Nikkanen, I hope I say it right, Nikkanen, Nevertheless, you know what I mean. In the beautiful finish, Ferrari is quite a fierce driver, so not turning away from a challenge. So we enter the last 30 minutes. This means another small break for me. Well, grab something to drink and stretch my legs just for a little bit because I've been sitting for a while. I'll be back in roughly 3 to 5 minutes. So have a lovely day. Have a lovely time, and then enjoy this race. We'll stick with McCutcheon for now, Nikkonen, because this seems like something that is close, getting close. And by the time I get back, we'll see how it ended. Of course, before I go, I want to give a shout out to Uplay, where you can get where you can get game keys for a good price, up to 80% off. If you want to dip your toe into if you ever want to dip a toe into Assetto Corsa and sim racing, check out Uplay and of course ACM for a really welcoming community. I'll be back in just a few short minutes and enjoy this race from here. And we have returned at the 25-minute mark. Wow, I timed that to a T. Anyway, we still are looking at this battle between Nikkonen and McCutcheon. McCutcheon drove away a little bit in the meantime, so they are going strong. We see our leader here with the 15-second lead on Gilroy, and Gilroy naturally having that 15-second penalty still, as far as I know, or they served it in the pit box. I don't know, but Gilroy currently in P2 in the last 25 minutes of this race. And then we have Pryor in P3. in that Aston Martin who had that fight with McCutcheon. And McCutcheon is closing up to Pryor. And I know I put Pryor in it for a long time, but for a while, but they seem to have the most battles going on in this race. So it's a tough race for him, but of course also really enjoyable for him. And I do apologize, I did not sync up the ACM liveries before the race. It was a rookie mistake, I know, but instead of restarting everything, I might as well roll with it because we only have 25 minutes to go. And we continue here with McCutcheon on McCutcheon on Pryor. We also see Johnston here in the other Aston Martin, getting really close to Maas in the ACM Ferrari. Let's see if Maas can keep them away, keep them at bay here. But here we see McCutcheon. Did they make the move? They did make the move, and they are in P3 right now. So also back into P3. And that battle for P3 is quite intense between McCutcheon, Pryor, and Niikanen as well at times. It's just it's a sight to behold. It's really enjoyable to watch this. Let's see here. Normally I would do a replay, but last time I did it, I broke something, but I can try it again. So let's see if we can see what happened here. There's a nice move on the inside on Pryor. Here. It is a beautiful, beautiful things right now going on here. You can see McCutcheon in P3. Absolutely great. Like I said, it's a bit hard for me to work these magic buttons. Here we go back into the live mode again with McCutcheon in P3, Pryor following, and Niikanen slowly closing that gap as well. 3 seconds behind with only 22 minutes to go. So as it stands now, we have Eli in P8 still, who started from P15. So that's a really good drive from Eli in the orange Mercedes in the background. And O'Sullivan still going strong in P1. And if this continues like this, if he can manage this pace and not make any mistakes, I'm pretty sure he will finish this race at P1. But as I said, these are the closing stages of a 1.5 hour race, so fatigue will set in a little bit. I know that some people do drive like 24 hours straight on their own. Don't know how they do it without 16 cans of Monster Energy, for example, but here we are. So at the moment, everyone is sort of settling in. We still have Johnston here following Maas. And behind that is Kelly. Kelly, of course, being in P7, so they will lap the car, so they have to move away for the blue flag. If you don't know, if you're quite new to the racing scene, blue flag means that there is a faster car behind you that has overtaken you by 1 lap. So you have to move aside and let them through. But of course, it's a bit hard in this battle, which will lose Kelly some time in this case. But I'm pretty sure that they will manage to do so and be nice and move out of the way for Kelly. Then we have, like I said, everyone is quite settling down for the last 20 minutes. Let's see what happens now. It gives me a great opportunity to talk about ACM a little bit. I joined it a little bit ago, not like yesterday, but I think it was a month or 2 ago now with a friend of mine, because we were trying to do something else, and we found ACM. You can see Kelly flashing their lights to move aside, and then I see Johnson blinking to say like go by that way. Beautiful done, nice gesture, good job, good way to move out of the way. Anyway, but ACM they said of course a competizione, the career mode, really nice people. If you ever want to dip a toe in these kinds of events, they're really welcoming, willing to help out where they can. So have a look out if you want to join. Check their Discord. Apparently the bot already did that. I'm astounded how that works. Technology of 2024 is something else. But yeah, you can check out the Discord. It's a really welcoming place. Be friendly people, always willing to help out, and the events are really nice. At the moment, we are in for the 90-minute race of Kyalami, which is part of the Road to SRO. And normally I do a race as well. I do the mini series and the GT4 event, and I signed up for the Ferrari challenge. Um, Never driven a Ferrari in my life, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll see by then. Hopefully, will be broadcasted by someone else. Of course, I cannot drive and broadcast at the same time. I just don't have that. I can multitask pretty well, but that's just beyond my limits. I don't know how Harry does it. He drives, he talks, and he types sometimes as well while driving. It's a magical human being, that Harry. Really is. Then we have at P15 currently Otter in the Porsche. Like I said, the Porsche is not a big car often, and I might see why, but the Porsche is a little bit tricky to handle at times, but it is a really nice car. I do like the sound of it as well. Currently P15 in a 222 Porsche. Then we have Arslan in the BMW, the Advan BMW with the black and the yellow, black and the red horizontal stripes. So quite an iconic livery. That I do like it. As I said, not all liveries are synced because I was a little bit slow with that. With Johnson here in the Aston Martin, following Maas, but Maas driving away, that using that blue flag situation to his advantage. Really cleverly done. Then we have Gossel in a P11 in the beautiful sounding Audi. Still by far the best sounding car on the grid. With Burns in P10 in the other Porsche, the Exxon Porsche. Just driving along with Arslan, the Black Arslan, it seems like. In P9 we have Wolf in the Lamborghini. Had a little bit of an issue there earlier, but seems to be all fixed. And had some damage on the front, but looks okay now. Then we have in P8 Eli making up 7 places, starting from P15. Eli was a little bit late to the race, to the qualification, and did not have a perfect flying lap. Or perfect, they spun off. And I had to start from the back, and now running in P8 is a really good achievement here. In P7 we have Kelly in that Ferrari. Sorry. It's Kelly in the Ferrari here, driving the wheels of that thing basically. Then we have in P6 Koncik, Damian Koncik from Poland, it seemed like. He started in the front row. He was front row. Sadly had an incident, dropped him back, and then later on had a stop and go penalty of 30 seconds, which now lead him to be driving in P6. But he is closer to Nikkonen, and Nikkonen closing up to Pryor. Like I said, Pryor has his spotlight today. There is lots of attention to them because, well, in all honesty, he has been in the most battles today. So normally the focus goes on there to give you some excitement to watch. So there's that. There's Nikkonen following Pryor. And Pryor, we all know by now, Stuart Pryor in the #1 McLaren driving. It seems to be getting a little bit lighter where we are right now in Kyalami. So can distinguish the car a little bit better at least, but it's not by much. But you can see the beautiful venue here in South Africa. Then in P3 we have McCutcheon. I still don't know if I say that right, but like I said, my DMs are open if you want to have a beef after that. That's fine. But McCutcheon in P3 driving quite well. They had a big moment earlier in the race where they span off. Luckily not damaging their Ferrari too much, or at all. I didn't see. Of course, the outside wasn't damaged, but I never know about the suspension or flooring or anything like that. But currently running solid in P3. Then we have Gilroy in P2, following O'Sullivan with about 10 seconds. That gap is closing, but I'm not sure if it will be enough for the end, but we'll see in about 50 minutes. We do also have a yellow flag. Don't know what happened here, but there's been a yellow flag waved, so someone went off somewhere a little bit. I do not see any weird things here. at the moment. We see Johnson behind Maas. Maas running P12 for a long time now. Maas in the ACM Ferrari. As you can see, it says Maas on the car itself. That's beautiful when you have a 3-letter surname. It says it all, like on those old school arcade machines where most of the people are just called Ah. Also really funny. But yeah, there's in chase of Maas, but of course what we want to see is here. We saw that Nikkonen was closing on Konchik, but they dropped back a little bit. We'll see how this will pan out in the last 30 minutes. Oh man, 90 minutes sounds like a really long time, but once you get going with a little bit breaks, of course, because I do need to drink occasionally. I need to breathe, because talking for 90 minutes straight is it's weirdly a hard job, but luckily I have a job in real life that supports it. Oh yeah, O11 in P1 going to lap what appears to be Wolf, Gilroy P2, McCutcheon P3. But everyone is now sort of settling in, so we're gonna continue following Johnston following Maas, see if we make a move. If anything happens in the front, of course we will switch that. But for now, let's see if we can see an awesome battle for P12. Maas being here for being with ACM for what I can tell quite a while. Drove against him quite a lot of times. Really lovely person to talk to. Always in for a little bit of fun. Sometimes he is the one person that keeps everyone alert when something needs to happen. So that's a good job. But yeah, we continue to follow Johnson and Maas here for P12. Apologize for that. For P12, and see how that will go. At the moment, we also see Konchik closing up on Pryor. Pryor, of course, the main act of this stream today with the most battles here. So let's switch to them to see how that goes. Konchik is a really fast driver, we found out today. Placed that McLaren on the front row today, but sadly due to some circumstances, it's running in P5. Like I mentioned before, that incident in the first lap and the stop and go penalty of 30 seconds. They will continue to do so as they drive around this beautiful venue. As you can see, it gets a little bit lighter now, so you can see it a little bit better. The Carolami is a really nice track. If you have a set of course, just go on and drive it. It's absolutely a joy to drive. We see Pryor dipping a wheel there in the grass, which will cost them a lot of speed. And then, of course, Konchik seeing that, noticing that, and then going off. We see Pryor not really fighting that. I think they went a little bit deep into that corner. Giving all the space to Konchik, who then gained the place and now is in P4, with Pryor running in P5 at the moment. We do see that Johnson has passed Maas for 12th position and is slowly driving away from them. So, sorry, I can only put one camera in. Maybe we can see it with a little bit of a replay. Let's see if it works. I'm not too sure. Because, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this. You see here, Maas behind Eli. Eli doing the lapping. And you see the car already pass. So no, that's we sadly missed that moment. But nevertheless, as I said, this is my first broadcast ever. Still figuring out the fine details of it. So yeah. Oh, why did I pin that? I want to pin that. I do not know how chats work apparently. That was not supposed to happen. I don't know why that happened. Let me fix that as well real quick. Let's unpin it after 30 seconds. Yeah, apparently I cannot unpin this. Oh, there we go. Unpin. There we go. Oh, you pinned it. Oh, I thought I accidentally hit something. Thank you, Harry, for easing my mind a little bit. I was scared that I clicked on something funny when I was clicking through everything. I really need another monitor, but I don't have the space actually. But at the moment, in the last 9 minutes, every gap seems to be quite stretched out. Stretched out as we see everyone settling in, see what's happening. We do see Gilroy here closing in. As we said before, it was a 10-second gap to O'Sullivan, who is our race leader in the Lamborghini. And it's dropped down to 4 seconds right now. So we will have to see if they can catch up in the last 8 minutes to take that lead from O'Sullivan, which will be a close one. Overall, we see Maas closing up on Johnston again, it seems like. Yeah, looks like it's getting out there again, so might as well focus a little bit on Maas. Following Johnston for P12, this is for P12. Of course, doing their best at going out of the way for the faster drivers, because blue flag, absolutely lovely done. That's a nice gesture. That's nicely done. This time stayed on track actually. And if you don't know, it's a little bit of an inside joke, but nevertheless we move on. See Maas slowly following, but once again dropping slowly behind Johnston by 2 seconds this lap. So we'll come back to that later on. But here we see Gilroy. Gilroy, of course, also was involved in that lap 1 incident together with Konchik. Which dropped him down a bit with 15 seconds penalty. And is now following for the lead, only 3 seconds with only 7 minutes remaining in this race. So I'm not sure if that will be enough for this race to close the gap at the end of the race, but it will be close. It will be really close. It's now the gap now 2.6 seconds. We see Gilroy really pushing it right now in that McLaren. I do like the livery on that McLaren, although it might be in the standard one. As I said, I loaded in my livery a little bit on the later side. But yeah, that's on me, really. Oh, we see an incident between Gilroy and Maas. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? Let's go back to Maas here. In the last 15 seconds, we see Gilroy here trying to just tap the rear of Maas there, making him spin and losing out a lot of time, who was, of course, following Johnston at that point in time. So I'm not sure if that will come with a penalty, but that seemed a little bit unnecessary from my point of view. Of course, I cannot see everything, but we'll see how it will pan out in the end. Now, what we'll have here, we have O'Sullivan again leading with Gilroy now less than a second behind them. Oh, and click on Gilroy actually. These are now fighting for position, and I don't know if Gilroy will receive a penalty for that collision with Mark Maas. Although Mark Maas was a lap driver, but of course, we see someone going off there. I'm not sure if they did it to make space, but it's not really the best way to do it. To go on the grass to make space, well, ruins your tires as well. Get dirty up. And you see Gilroy here flashing the lights to O'Sullivan. Applying pressure. Gilroy really on it right now and making that move stick. Where is he? And see O'Sullivan tucking down behind him right now. See if he can make it onto the next corner. Don't know the names of the corner. I do know Kailami is a beautiful track, but I don't know the corner names by the top of my head. Should really train on those actually. Nevertheless, we see O'Sullivan hanging on the back of Gilroy. The standings on the left side, you see here, still see O'Sullivan lead. This is not correct. Gilroy, yeah, there it is. It is a little bit slow with the updating. My update sheet is a little bit faster than that, luckily. So we see Gilroy leading over O'Sullivan with only 4 minutes to go in this race, and Gilroy is going for it. But I'm not sure if Gilroy will receive a penalty for that incident we had with the back marker. So that's going to be tight at the end of this race. But he is quickly driving away from O'Sullivan with roughly a second a lap. That McLaren is so fast around this track. Now we have McCutcheon in P3, but McCutcheon is driving a sort of his own race at the moment with 30 seconds behind P2, 4 seconds ahead of Konchik in P4. So it is quite interesting to see. At the moment, the fastest lap is in the hands of Konchik still with a 140.1. And Konchik made a move, apparently. What happened there? And let's have a look what happened here, real quick. So we see Konchik here driving. We see O'Sullivan there. It's quite far away. Oh, the cut, little bit of cut there. Let's have a look from. Oh, McCutcheon had a spin. That's what happened. Oh, this is a dreadful moment. This is a dreadful moment for McCutcheon. It was driving so well, and then sadly, that spin happened in literally the last 5 minutes of the race. And it's a shame. McCutcheon had a spin earlier this race in that Ferrari. That seemingly, like I said, after 90 minutes, you get the fatigue sets in a little bit, so small mistakes will be made. And sadly, that happened here. In the meantime, we have Wolf here on Elay, really closing up on that Mercedes, hanging really on the tail of that. That Mercedes has a really big wing from the looks of it. Really dwarfs that low slanted Lamborghini, and we see behind it we see Gilroy, of course, lapping them. In this case, we see Wolf indicating to go on the side, and that's exactly what it's done. It was really nice. Well, of course, putting a little break on this battle, but normally you can make. You can take advantage of a blue flag situation just to follow the faster car and see if this happens here for Wolf. Wolf right behind Elay again, and I think they had quite an advantage of that blue flag. Being on the outside, it's a bit hard from this camera angle to see, but nonetheless they go in, they dive behind Elay, the old, most people don't like it, but it's the switcheroo. And it's in front. Make the move stick and see what Elay can do to recover that position. Elay, of course, now in P9. Started from P15. Still a massive drive from him. Nevertheless, a really good effort. Also from Wolf to place that Lamborghini beyond that big Mercedes. Luckily, Kyalami is quite a nice track. You can overtake here. Like some cases, like Hungaroring, is quite hard to overtake, as we all know. This one has the opportunity to do so. It's a nice right-hander here, and see if Elay can stick on the back of Wolf. Still within the second, so still will be towed. For this one, we enter the last minute of the race.
Alright, man. The leader is on the final lap.
Leader, as you can hear from the in-game mechanics, the leader is on the last lap. And see what Elay is doing here. I'm not sure if Gilroy will receive a penalty for colliding with that back marker, but we will see. But Gilroy's leading in front now over O'Sullivan with about a lead of 8.6 seconds. And Konchik in P3 driving away from McCutcheon, who sadly had that small incident, which caused them to lose their position. It was quite a shame because McCutcheon was really on it. But of course, really nice for Konchik as well. Good drive, even though he had some setbacks today. With the incident in lap 1, and then the stop and go penalty of 30 seconds, and still managing to put it on P3 it's a miraculous drive. Let's have a look at our leader here, Gilroy. In their last lap, it was also a fantastic drive from Gilroy, of course. Also was affected by that incident in lap 1, dropped a couple of places, then had that 15-second penalty, flashing their lights, which is about to go a little bit of drift there. Would have been something if we lost it there, right? Then into the final corner and taking the checkered flag in a minute. Yeah, he's you can see that he's happy. He's happy. Oh, he crashed it. Beautiful. He didn't finish yet. He crashed into the barrier without finishing.
Let's finish the race.
That was I don't know what happened there, but that was not I don't think that was supposed to happen there. And we have O'Sullivan in P2, finished P2. We have Konchik here, following Konchik into the final corner here in P3. He'll take the checkered flag at P3. Solid drive. We have McCutcheon, sadly, with that small moment we had. Also P4, great drive. Pryor, our center stage for today, in P4 and what is it? P5. And then Nikkanen in P5. Kelly, everything is going weird because they are disconnecting, so I do apologize, but here we see Kelly driving for it. And this is the slowly concluding the race. It was 90 minutes of Kalami from ACM, so I said, of course, career mode. Sponsored by Uplay. Check out Uplay. Uplay now offering up to 80% off to some games, so have a look if you can. It's a good place to find a great deal. You see Kelly crossing the line here. Now, beautiful Kelly crossing the line with yeah, everyone. I think everyone finished right now. Yeah, this is Arsenal and Wolf here. Beautiful race with Gilroy in P1. Amazing job. Was some incidents. We've seen some incidents. There was some drama, but in the end, it was a good race. I hope you all enjoyed this this stream for me. My name is Aaron. Signing off for now, and I wish you all a lovely Sunday evening.